Hi, thanks for checking out Black Ohm. Black Ohm is a drawing and painting program for Mac and Windows. And in this video, I'm going to give you a quick overview of how Black Ohm works, how to sort of find your way around the interface. And we'll be recording more videos soon to show you specific features of the different tools. But in this one, we'll just sort of show you where everything's at, and hopefully you can get started from here. The idea behind Black Ohm is to create a friendly, easy to use, but very powerful painting program. So as you see here in the interface, there's not a lot to it at first glance. On the left side, you have your tools: painting, erasing, smudging, various other tools. These will all get their own videos to describe them. Along the top, you have undo and redo and a history palette. In the center of the top bar are options specific to the current tool. So as you switch tools, you're going to get different options. We'll go through all of those in future videos. We're going to mostly use the brush for this one. Along the right side, here we have a little pop-up options. These are some things that we expect you to use pretty often. So save your document, clear and fill, some stuff like that. And then we have color pickers, so we can choose the color we want to use. Inside the color picker, we have a set of recently used colors. So if we pick something like an orange color, we can go back to one of our recent colors. Let's get black in there. Anyway, so we'll use some kind of dark brownish color for this. As we go down the right side here, the POW is a set of stickers. So we have these sort of comic themed stickers. You can add your own. Other people will probably create more. But to use one of these, you just choose the one you're interested in. Let's go for one of the sounds and tap it, and it appears on the canvas. It appears here as a new layer. And speaking of layers, let's just go down to the bottom. This is where you see the layers in the document. So this appeared as a new layer. We can turn it on or off. I'm going to get rid of it because I don't need it for this demo. So that's the layers palette, this bottom right thing. Most of our palettes pop up when you need them and then go away when you're done. So you can bring up the layers palette, you can select the active layer, you can add and remove layers, change blend modes, but then it goes away to give you the clearest view of your artwork. The layers palette has an option, a little pin down here. If you want to leave it open, you can click this pin, and now we will dock the layers palette in the window, and it'll stay there as you work on your document. I'm going to hide the layers palette. So we just click it again and click away. You'll see two bars on the right side here. These are controllers for adjusting the width of your brush. So right now I'm using a Wacom drawing tablet, and I click and drag up and down to adjust the width, or click and drag to adjust the opacity of the brush I'm going to draw with. The idea with these is to be sort of a touch-friendly interface. So if you're using a touch device, for example, a Microsoft Surface Pro, it's easy to touch and drag these with your finger to adjust the width and opacity of your brush, which is a very, very common properties to edit. You can also adjust those numerically up here, or we have keyboard shortcuts. For example, let's put the brush in the middle. The bracket keys, bigger and smaller brush, and the number keys for opacity. But that's getting a little into more detail of the brush. So that's sort of all you see in the UI to start with. You start drawing on the canvas. We have a lot of different brushes you can work with. So we're going to go into the tool details later, but one thing that you're going to want to experiment with early on is when you have the brush tool selected, you go in here and you click the sample of your active brush, and it brings up the brush picker. So we have a lot of categories. We have grunge brushes, different ink styles, weird mechanical brushes. Let's look at some of the inks. So some of these are very simple, not a lot to them. Others have a lot more character. This one, for example, is a rough textured brush. Let's make a wider stroke. Some of them are sampled from real-world brushes. So I'm going to show you this one. This one is a sort of a brush that doesn't have much ink on it. So as you start your stroke, the beginning of the stroke is darker, and then it sort of fades out to a dry brush because it wasn't loaded with much ink. And you see not each stroke is the same. There's variation in these strokes. Let's look at a few more brushes. The mechanical brushes are interesting. There are other categories too, but the fun thing here is that, let me clear away what I had on the layer. As you draw, you're actually not just drawing a simple stroke, but you're drawing a texture that sort of follows along. So Black Ohm has some pretty unique brushes in this way. So there are mechanical parts. There's an interesting one. I think it's under sci-fi. Yeah, we have tentacles. Some of these brushes also use two colors. So tentacles, let's say we want this outline of the tentacle to be black, but the interior, let's pick some kind of green, creepy tentacle color. So as I draw this, there, you can see the brush has not just a single color, but it uses both of these color pickers. So if I want the stroke color to be orange, now I get orange. So keep an eye out for those dual colored brushes, and you can tell which ones they are because they have red and white in them to indicate the two colors. So we have lots and lots of brushes. Go in here and explore, and find. There's some of these are kind of, what's this one? Right, the taper brush. I'm going to reverse the colors, and now I've got the reddish orange on the interior and the green on the stroke. So I could go on and on showing you brushes, but I'm going to let you explore that. All right. When it comes time to save your document, you'll get a save dialog like a normal desktop application would. I'm not going to save this one. But when I open a document, so let's close this one and open a new one, I get a sort of a gallery view that shows me recent documents. And these don't look very interesting because I've been testing and debugging. But you can just open by clicking one of these, and it'll open up the document from disk. Or you can browse and get a file picker. As a traditional desktop, open dialog. When you create a new document, you get a bunch of presets for different print sizes, screen sizes, photo sizes. You can choose textures to start out with on the background. We even have comic panels, so we can choose from a variety of preset comic panels. Let's pick this one. And let's say the panel color, let's make it some kind of blue-gray. Okay. Fatter panel stroke width, say, I don't know, 16. All right. So now I have sort of a comic layout. This is another thing, I won't go into too much detail in this video, but it is something here that Black Ohm has built in. So I draw in these panels, and it's not going to go onto the margins here because it's just another layer. If I bring up my layers dialog, you can see that the panels here are sort of a template on top of the rest of your document. All right, so I think that's a quick overview. You can sort of experiment on your own. We have powerful guides here for perspective drawing or isometric drawing, symmetry options. In here we have text with word balloons, and I'll record separate videos on all that. But explore, let us know what you think, and have fun. Welcome to Black Ohm.